The busybody banned as sexist, demeaning to older women. Who lives next door called my daughter a tomboy. Banned as sexist. When she climbed the jungle. Banned, replaced with rainforest gym. Alternative, replace jungle gym with play structure. Then she had the nerve to call her an egghead and a bookworm. Both banned as offensive, replaced with intellectual. Because she read fairy. Banned because it suggests homosexuality, replaced with elf. Tales. I'm tired of the language police turning a deaf ear. Banned as handicapism. Here to my complaints. I'm no Pollyanna and banned as sexist and will not accept any lame. Banned as offensive, replaced with walks with cane. Excuses at this time. If Alanis Morissette can play God, banned in Dogma. Banned as ethnocentric, replaced with doctrine or belief. Why can't my daughter play stickball? Banned as regional or ethnic bias on Boys Night Out. Banned as sexist. Why can't she build the snowman? Banned, replaced with snow person. And without the fanatic. Banned as ethnocentric, replaced with believer, follower, or adherent. Next door telling her she's going to go to hell. Banned, replaced with heck or darn. Do you really think that this is what the founding fathers. Banned as sexist, replaced with founders or framers had in mind? That we can enjoy our devil. Banned, hold ham sandwiches in peace. I say put a stop to this cult. Banned as ethnocentric, PC old wives' tale. Banned as sexist, replaced with folk wisdom, an extremist. Banned as ethnocentric, replaced with believer, follower, or adherent, conservative duffers. Banned as demeaning to older men. As an heiress, banned as sexist, replaced with heir. To the First Amendment, I feel that only a heretic, used with caution when comparing religions, would try to stop American vernacular from flourishing in all its inspirational. Banned as patronizing when referring to a person with disabilities. Splendor. So the dramatic situation is a parent is expressing their discontent with the use of what they believe is sexist or bigoted language used to describe their daughter as she partakes in stereotypically masculine activities. As the speaker's discourse unfolds, the author, Denise Duhamel, inserts objections. She takes on the role as the language police. She edits and bans and substitutes terms with more neutral words. So the poet includes a lot of irony into her piece, so that although the Rand in itself is about censoring sexist language and calling upon the language police and society to be more conscientious and sensitive of their use of language, the poem's theme quite contradicts this. By condemning every second or third word, the poet is ridiculing the role of the language police and what it does. Within the complaint about the misuse of language, the speaker is at the same time misusing language. There is rhyme. It is an internal identical rhyme. It's the repetition of the word banned. It creates emphasis as well as a tediousness for the listener or the reader as they struggle to grasp what the speaker is actually trying to say because of the ample amount of times the word banned and the amount of objections present in the poem. This poem is a satirical free verse poem, meaning that there's no structural pattern in meter or stanza, so its form is very fluid. This choice is absolutely relevant to the poem's criticism, as it criticizes and rejects the strict linguistic restrictions set upon us. Diction is a very important literary element present in the poem, as the major concept is actually the replacing of what is known in literary terms as informal diction, that everyday people mean you would tend to use, and replacing it with informal and sometimes middle diction. An example of this could be the term snowman to snow person, as it may be considered sexist. Personally, I'm a huge advocate for free speech, and at the same time, I totally agree that there needs to be a line drawn between hate speech and free speech. But I think that in our day and age, at least in the Western society, this line is slowly encroaching onto dangerous territory, where we've come to a point where it's hard to say anything without being scared we're going to offend someone or that we're going to be reprimanded or censored. I'm really tired of living in a hypersensitive reality where everything said or done must be scrutinized for traces of sexism, racism, homophobia. But this act of systematically substituting and trying to neutralize language on such a grand scale impoverishes literature and our capability of understanding concepts. It's in fact just making us ignorant, especially in terms of what we are exposed to in schools. This language police is actually kind of creating this fictitious world. Things we are taught in history class aren't necessarily true, illustrating that this is in fact a form of linguistic oppression. And I think this will indefinitely leave us disconnected from the real world. The busybody who lives next door called my daughter a tomboy when she climbed the jungle gym. Then she had the nerve to call her an egghead and a bookworm because she read fairy tales. I'm tired of the language police turning a deaf ear to my complaints. I'm no Pollyanna, and I will not accept any lame excuses at this time. If Alanis Morissette can play God in Dogma, why can't my daughter play stickball on Boys' Night Out? Why can't she build a snowman without that fanatic next door telling her she's going to go to hell? Do you really think this is what the Founding Fathers had in mind? That we can't even enjoy our deviled ham sandwiches in peace? I say put a stop to this cult of PC old wives' tales and extremist conservative duffers. As an heiress to the First Amendment, I feel that only a heretic would try to stop American vernacular from flourishing in all its inspirational splendor.